Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Steinwit. I am a communications major with a corporate health emphasis and an advertising minor. I chose for my project to um, do my dad's company, which is Terminal Andrea Electric. It has been in business for a really long time. It started in 1885. It was founded by Julius Andre, and he actually was responsible for introducing the first incandescent bulb to Milwaukee. So we can thank him for that, which is pretty exciting. Um, so, like I said before, I worked with my dad a lot on this project. We did this through email and face to face. I'm pretty fortunate to live pretty close to home, so we talked a little bit about it as well, and on his birthday and stuff like that. So that was pretty fun. Um, but we're pretty excited to do that. One of Terminal's big things that they like to promise to their clients is that they want to be on time and they want to be on budget. And they also want to make sure that they live up to company standards, which is pretty important. So we wanted to make sure that we conveyed that through the ads as well. So we did a little bit of that. We didn't want them to be super funny because having electrical issues isn't ever really funny. But I think that we were able to convey a little bit of humor in those ads. Um, so next, we'll talk about the tone of the campaign. Um, so what we wanted to do is I came up with two campaigns. There's two sides to Terminal. One is the electrical side, so they do a lot of work with businesses, and that's what Terminal's main focus actually is. So I wanted to work on that a little bit, and I wrote those ads out, and then I wrote out ads for a residential side as well, which is something that Terminal used to do before the recession. Um, but once that got bad, they had to shut that down. So um, they're thinking about bringing it back now. So I also wrote out ads for that, which I thought would be a little bit better for just building up that clientele. And my dad definitely agreed because they haven't had that for so long that you kind of need to build that momentum back up. So that's why we chose ultimately to go with that um, for the campaign. Um, so what my goal was for this was to build repetition up in customers' minds. You have to hear an ad three times before you really remember what is actually going on or what it's for, and just to kind of get the humor a little bit. So I wanted my radio ad and my TV ad to work together. So I wanted it so that way if a customer or a potential client was listening to it on the radio and then they later heard it back on the TV, they were able to make that connection and go, oh, yeah, I heard that on the radio. That sounds like a really reliable, great place to get electrical work done. Um, so that's why I chose to do that, mostly just to help build up with that repetition. Um, so a few of the challenges that I definitely had with was writing the business ads. I just didn't feel like they flowed well. I don't think that they would have been great on the air. I just think that it's just too hard to write business to business. You can't have a radio ad saying, "Hey, I'm Terminal Andre Electric and I want to fix your dairy cooler." Like, who wants to listen to that, and why is that even relevant? So working building up back up that business clientele, I was really glad that my dad said that they were doing that because I think that that's a really important next and wise business decision for them, and bringing that back up. So what I did with my ads is I wanted to keep them fairly simple just because, electrical work is really complicated, and talking about, circuit breakers and, big boards and all this other electrical terminology that my dad was using, I just like, I didn't understand. So I was like, well, if I don't understand, how is a normal everyday person going to understand these topics? So I just wanted to keep them really simple. So I, started out with a husband and wife who were arguing because their circuit breaker went out and they couldn't fix that. So, you hear screwdrivers and you see all the lights dimming and stuff like that. So I wanted to just kind of portray that a little bit, add a little bit of humor, but again, keep the ads informational more so. Um, the husband and wife are talking back and forth, and he goes, well, I can't fix this. And the wife goes, well, I think you should call someone. And the husband goes, oh, well, I think we'll call Terminal Andrea Electric. They have reliable contractors. They're always on time, and they come in on their budget. So then the husband calls, and the electrician picks up the phone and says, "Oh yeah, I can be there in an hour." And he comes, and then he fixes everything. And then it's the TV ad's gonna have the CG of the terminal logo and their address and a phone number that they can call, and the announcer will come on and explain all of that. Um, so I wanted those to come together as well. And so in the radio ad, it's very similar. Again, you hear the husband and the wife talking back and forth, having a very similar conversation. The husband can't fix the circuit breaker, and so he needs someone to help him do that. Um, so we kept that very similar. Um, and my dad really wanted that too, just because it's easier to make that connection. If you see that with McDonald's commercials a lot. You hear the ba da ba ba ba, and that that's McDonald's, whether it's on the radio or if it's on TV. Um, and so that's something that I really wanted to make sure that I conveyed. Um, and I think that we hit that off pretty well, and my dad really liked that idea. So I'll just talk a little bit more about the challenges. One of the hardest things that we had was finding time to just sit down and do this. Like I said before, my dad's really busy with work. It's the busy season right now. Everything kind of picks up a little bit at this time, and then he's also gone hunting and all that stuff. So finding time was pretty challenging just to sit down and meet with him. And I'm busy with school, like I'm sure everyone else is. So that was a really big challenge for both of us in this aspect. And then, like I said before, writing those business to business ads the first time around was they just sounded awkward, and I couldn't find a way to make them sound more entertaining or interesting. So I had to figure out a way to keep those moving, and it just wasn't working. And my dad thought they were super awkward, and yeah, so it didn't work out very well that way either. Um, so that was what it was really challenging. But I think overall, my dad really did enjoy the tone of the campaign, and I was able to come up with even more future ideas if we would decide to keep going with this, and even work in a little bit of those business to business ads, saying, we can help you fix your home or your business, whatever it may be. And I thought it would be kind of cool in future campaigns to actually use that same husband or wife. Those same people and keep it going, so you have that same recognition, having the husband and wife may own a pet shop or something, and their circuit breaker blows, or their lights aren't working in their building, and they need it and all rewired, or using the having them put an addition on their house, and you need to put electrical in there. So having that and keeping those tones carrying through, I think would be really awesome as well. And having those things in a new campaign, I think would be really awesome. Overall, I thought this was a very interesting project to do. Um, I thought it was interesting writing for business to business ads, and then actually going back through and then making them for the residential side. I thought writing both was an interesting challenge, and I really did enjoy doing that. My dad enjoyed seeing some of my work for the first time. He hasn't really had a chance to see a lot of my ad work, so he enjoyed that as well. But overall, I thought this was a really great experience. I loved working with my dad, and hopefully someday I can continue to do this and work with them. And I really enjoyed it. So thank you.